Okay, so over the last couple of years, we've actually helped a lot of people relocate here to San Diego, especially during the pandemic when the housing boom was going strong. But over the last 6 months or a year or so, we've had a few clients that have moved here and during the pandemic have decided to leave San Diego.
Yes.
So I thought we'd give you some of the reasons why some of these people have left or are deciding to leave. None of them are hugely shocking, but I just think it's good to show you guys what maybe San Diego isn't perfect for everyone.
So these are regrets?
These are the regrets of moving to San Diego.
Yeah.
This is our list. Okay, so the first regret on our list, moving to San Diego, is family. Because if you move to San Diego, it sounds like a great idea in theory sometimes, but if you were moving there without knowing anybody, you could feel a little lonely at times.
Sure, a little detached if you've left your family.
For sure.
Or any kind of extended family.
Yeah, and this is probably the number one reason I get from most of the people that have left San Diego in the last couple of years. They just, they try to meet friends, but friends can never replace family sometimes.
Right.
Especially, except for our friendship, obviously, will never die. But it's obviously a very important part of life and just living, especially if your parents are on the East Coast or Midwest. That's not super accessible to get to.
Right, it's a bit of a hike to travel. If you've moved here and you have children, be it young or old, it's always nice to have help from your family. And out here, if you don't have anybody like that, that you're close with, you're having to find babysitters and childcare, et cetera, et cetera. And I always think, the big question is, why doesn't everybody just move out here with you? Make a big family move so you're not missing anyone. That's harder than you think, because as you know, San Diego is pretty expensive to live here, and say you have older family members, you have grandparents, they may be on fixed income, they may be retired. This would be a difficult place to move if you were on,
on a limited income.
On a limited income, because
you can't find places here for $300,000 to $500,000.
Are pretty expensive in this area.
Tough,
yeah,
for sure.
Next on the list, as we've talked about before, are missing the changes of the seasons. Having 4 distinct seasons is something that you don't always realize will affect you. Or if you've grown up in a place where you do have 4 seasons, once you move somewhere where there's an absence of that, you can start to feel it a little bit.
For sure. That's actually one of the big things I miss about living. I'm from the Philadelphia area originally. Sure. We all have 4 seasons. Obviously, it's hard to complain about the weather we have here in San Diego. But if you have nice weather all year round, it's hard to miss it sometimes.
Right. And
so,
and you realize too that a lot of those seasons help with the demarcation of the year. You feel different in winter than you do in spring. Spring really does feel like everybody coming back out after it's been a cold winter, and then in the summer it's like you can definitely feel the different times of year. Summer is more, you're vacation driven, you're taking a break. Here it's lovely that it's nice all year round, but it does kind of cycle into a loop of lovely weather.
Yes, which sounds like a weird thing to complain about. But I remember even when I was in college, the first day, it's I went to Penn State University, which has some pretty rough winters. But the first day, it's 50 degrees. Everyone's out in t-shirts and shorts because it feels really, really nice.
Right.
So, it's everybody teach their own type thing, but you do miss seasons occasionally.
And for some people, it's enough to want to leave San Diego.
For sure. Another regret people might not regret, but maybe a complaint about it, is San Diego is a very laid-back vibe to it, which could lead to people not being on time all the time. So punctuality in San Diego is not its strong suit. I feel like a lot of people just, everyone's 5-10 minutes late to pretty much anywhere they go. So it's just kind of part of life here, especially if you I went to get an oil change one time, and I was like, it'll be done in 30 minutes. I'm went to get a coffee, came back in 45 minutes. I said, we didn't get to it yet. I'm like, well, you just told me 30 minutes. Yeah. So just know you have to have a little patience while living here in San Diego.
That's true. I think it's more of in a business sense. I definitely think if you're coming from someplace like New York City, Philadelphia, or any kind of major metropolitan area where you've got
very punctual on time.
People are punctual, right? There's deadlines. There's you work with the stock exchange and everything is down to the minute. Right. I don't know that the business world here is sort of on that same vibe.
Although if you work with us in real estate, we will always be on time. We'll be 5 minutes early, in fact. So keep that in mind. So another regret I heard from other people that have left here is finding true friends, especially I feel like it's always sort of harder to make friends when you're a little bit older.
Yeah.
So if you're moving here in your mid-30s, 40s, 50s, it's a little bit harder. I mean, through the way we met most of our friends when we moved here is probably through school or sports events of our kids.
Right.
So we actually met through our kids. We're both in TK together.
Yes, right.
We were both Philly fans, so that was an easy connection there for this. But if you move here, like single or as a couple and you don't have kids, it can be a little bit challenging to meet friends.
Right. You really do have to go out of your way to build those relationships. And I know thanks to social media, which is occasionally helpful, it's a helpful tool sometimes, that they do have, you know, like mixers for young people or like meetups or, you know, book groups or whatever. And it is, you know, you do have a chance to try to connect with other people, but it's still difficult to build those relationships.
For sure.
It's to the point that they are really solid. People sometimes do choose to go back to where they grew up or where their kids grew up because they just have a more solid friend group or they already have those roots there.
And one suggestion I would do if you do move to San Diego or any city for that matter is just be a yes person when you first come to the city. Because when my wife and I moved here in 2016, we had our 2-year-old son at the time. And anytime someone would invite us to something, we would just say yes. Just because like that's the only way we're going to meet people unless we got out there and did it. So I think remember I was a friend of a friend invited us to their 2-year-old's birthday party, and we didn't know them at all. He's like, you know, I think they introduced me. He's like, oh, well, we have a birthday party this weekend if you want to come. And we were like, sure, we'll be there. And he was kind of surprised that we said yes.
He thought you were going to beg off there?
That was very helpful for us. We just said yes to everything.
Yeah. Another thing that might send people
packing.
Just our coastal desert makeup here. People really should know before they come out here. If you're not living right on the beach, you're probably living a little bit inland here, and it will be pretty brown, pretty dry for so many months out of the year. I know that people miss trees, leafy trees, green, rolling, grassy hills, or
like
say
huge forests. And
yeah.
stuff like that,
so Southern California, where we are here, it's typically not the geographical makeup. So yes, you can have a beautiful yard with beautiful landscaping, but you know, when you leave the confines of your own backyard, it's a desert. It's deserty.
It's a coastal desert.
It's a coastal desert.
Although we do have beautiful palm trees, which you're not going to get everywhere in the country.
That's true. Yeah, that's something really special. But some people say, okay, I just needed to get back. I want to hear the wind through the trees. I want to have a big, huge yard that I don't worry about watering and it stays green like all year long. You're probably not going to have that here.
For sure.
You might miss that and want to go back to that.
Okay, so the next one, this one's a tough one to explain, but we're going to try to do it, is friendliness, which I don't really mean people are not friendly here in San Diego. People are very friendly in San Diego, but I just find that sometimes people are very busy. We have lots of activities with our kids and running around, and the weather's nice all year round. So it's not like we're all just stuck inside all the time and just trying to meet our neighbors all the time. I always do this little test when I'm showing people around neighborhoods, and like we're driving through the neighborhood and we'll wave and just see if people wave back. I just feel like that's my test of see if the neighborhood is friendly. It's not, some neighborhoods you go into and people go into their driveway, go into their garage, close the garage, you never see them again.
Yeah.
And then there's other places you go that people are out and about. Like there's probably 2 or 3 families on my street that we're always out and stuff. And then everybody else kind of sticks to themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of goes with any probably city in the country.
Yeah.
But just know that you're probably not gonna be best friends with every single person on your street.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I do think that is also a reflection of our good weather and the fact that people have activities and obligations all year long.
For sure.
There's really not the excuse of like, oh, well, you know, that snowstorm's coming in or roads were a little icy, so we didn't go out. Yep. It's like everyone is always out and about. They're not
doing something.
Not home that often. When they do come home, I feel like close the garage door sometimes. So you really do have to make more of an effort to connect with those neighbors and feel that connectedness, because it's really easy to just get so into your own schedule that people just don't interact as much.
But then we do like, well, in our neighborhood, we'll do like block parties at Labor Day, Memorial Day, or movie nights and things. And then everyone comes out and enjoys it. It's just wonderful. Like when you get everyone together, everyone's perfectly friendly and nice. It's just everyone's doing their own thing, so it just gets a little busy. And another thing I wanted to say, like compared to like the East Coast where I grew up, when we grew up, we lived on like an acre of land. There were no fences between the houses. So we kind of all just played in each other's yards up and down the street, and no one really cared. Here, everybody has fences that kind of closes it off a little bit.
It's just the way a lot of the neighborhoods are
everywhere in San Diego.
designed. Yeah.
So it's just a different sort of style of living, I guess you could say. So it feels a little different, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's easy to just be in your own little bubble.
Okay, so that was just a few reasons why some people have left. Obviously, we really enjoy living in San Diego and really have very minor issues about living here. So hopefully this video is helpful for you guys whether you're deciding to try to move here to San Diego. And if this is your first time to our channel, please subscribe to our channel as we post new videos each and every week. And if you're ever looking to buy or sell here in San Diego, we'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching. Catch us next time. Bye.